And it's time for Bingo is Life.
Another week.
The podcast. I heard it's Sweet 116.
I believe that's close to right.
Close.
Yeah.
Close enough for rock and roll.
I think so.
I'm Jay Zare, joined by the Howdy Shell brothers, just back from Cloud 9, Chris and Mike.
Welcome
here.
back, Mike.
And to you as well also.
Over here. Mom Shackles.
Hello.
Getting ready for the big Pride and Prejudice show tomorrow
Yes,
night.
we're covered in tea and biscuits.
Court Square Theater. We have a special guest in the silent Erin chair.
Yeah.
All the way from wherever she's from.
I think she's from far away.
Far away.
Or
Yeah?
from Harrisonburg,
Or from
really.
Harrisonburg.
Okay.
So I know you didn't give away the money because the buzz would have been much bigger when I
Yeah,
was in here.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it seemed
Oh, yeah.
like a nice crowd. Right?
No, they were sweet, and
Yeah.
a lot of people it was the first time.
Yeah,
So
it was a lot of new people this
Virgin Bingo play.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to find a new name for that. Yowza.
but they had a good time. It was cool.
Yeah, and I think the arcade just felt fun tonight. Just
Yeah,
felt
it
like
did.
People were having a good time, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Always,
Fantastic.
always a good time. So life is interesting. I wanted to give really briefly and just say I used to work with a guy. His name is Brian, and he used to work at the Little Grill, and he was a really wonderful human, and he just recently passed away. And I just wanted to say that I will miss him, but good humans that are out there, gosh, they're so precious and good to be around. If you knew Brian, he was a really great human. Did a lot of positive things in his years that he was here, and just really sad to see him gone. But
So yeah, here's to Brian.
here's to Brian. Cheers.
Yep. Cheers.
Yep.
Cheers.
All right.
Work.
I didn't mean to bring us all the way down.
Right.
But now on just a completely different note, completely different
Yeah.
note.
Other side of the coin.
Other side of the coin is Harrisonburg is popping as Towny Summer is happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was an amazing event that happened at Restless Moons this last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you go, Jay?
I was there briefly. I'm Tucker thought it was too loud, so we had
I see. Yeah, gotcha.
No, yeah, I was there briefly. But I heard it was fantastic. I saved the poster.
Cool.
They had an incredible crowd. Very
Let's talk about what that event
energetic.
was. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, thank you for turning the floor over to me. I didn't go, but I paid $50 to the fund because
Yes.
it was a fundraiser
Yes.
for someone who has spent a lot of time at Restless Moons and made a lot of friends that are there and always been like a welcoming, wonderful human being. I knew her like a while ago, but maybe one of you knew her. Knows she's still alive. Knows her better. But her name is Erica, and she has MS and has been dealing with the expenses of that. And so it was kind of a amp up for the GoFundMe to get her some help with the finances for that situation. But there were some wonderful musicians there that night who she is friends with and has probably become more friends with at Restless Moons. That's where I see them hanging out, so I just assume their whole lives are based there, but that's not true.
Well,
I will also include some links in the notes about the fund and about her, and if anybody wants to donate, they can.
Yeah. No, well, I think they've raised over $12,000 for it.
Yep.
And this is a local people doing this, and not this. Good job, Harrisonburg.
Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to say it really speaks to Harrisonburg, the people here.
It was
Try to be supportive as they can be.
the folks of Amateur Rodeo.
Yep.
So that was one of the
Dogwood
bands
Tales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were there three bands or just
There was
two?
a third band that slips my mind. Right. I do have the poster at my
Yeah.
house.
Cool.
So if you ever want to know more about this event, you can go to Jay's house and you can look at
Look
the
at his poster.
Look at his
It's
poster.
prominently
You have to do
displayed.
You have to give my dog a treat if you come to my house, or he might bite you.
So there is a toll.
There's the toll. Yeah.
You must pay to find out any information if you go to Jay's house. Hey, so I'll throw out another piece of information that June 1st, the tickets went on sale for our Bob and Me
yes, Bob and me.
show, in which
Bobby.
so excited, and people are buying tickets,
And the link works now.
and the link works
Yay.
now. Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon.
Technology.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
know.
gosh.
That will be at
Technology.
Court Square Theater.
Court Square Theater, and over the next couple months, we'll be interviewing a lot of different musicians who are actually going to be on that show, on that
Yes.
bill. And the bill itself is going to be awesome. So the way it works is going to be singer-songwriters. They do a Bob Dylan song, and then they do an original song. And
So it's both a tribute to Bob Dylan and to the music that he helped inspire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we'll be having the podcast about it shortly. But theoretically, tickets went on sale for Waiting for Godot at the Little Grill.
Oh,
So
yes.
maybe we can put that link in the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
if I can find it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to click that link and buy a ticket because I didn't realize the tickets were on sale for that.
Yeah, I want to buy a ticket
I
for
don't
that
often
too.
have to buy a ticket to an event because I'm usually running it somewhere. So it's nice to be able to come in from
It's
the
a new
morning.
thing for you.
Yeah, like, ooh, look
That's
at
a
this
humble
system.
brag right there.
No, it wasn't. It was
I'm
just,
usually hosting these events,
I
but
meant like working them, like oh, we got a plugged up toilet over on aisle 7. So
You
Ding, ding.
haven't been doing theater until you have to unplug the toilet
in
before
aisle
the show
7.
starts.
I have a 2-handled plunger now, and now that
Wow,
I've brought
I-
the conversation
okay.
to that low,
Yeah,
we should probably
thank
introduce
you.
our guest.
Yes, probably.
Pick this stuff up again.
Yeah, can I do it?
I think
Yes.
so. It's all
Yay,
you.
Awesome. All right. So, years ago, I'm not going to count because it doesn't matter. I was hosting the open mic and at the Little Grill, and a group of folks from the different high schools, Harrisonburg High School and Turner Ashby High School, started coming, and they started, and it was just became a thing Thursday night, and it was oh, this is fun. But then this Ellen showed up with a big piano, and
yeah.
we set the piano on the little stage, and she just killed.
Oh, that's always awesome.
And from that point on, when she would show up, I would get excited because I knew we were going to have an all-star rolling in. Because you love open mic, everybody does good, but then you got some stars, and you lean on those. You put those people in certain places so that the crowd stays and whatnot. And I was every time you would show up, Ellen, I would get so excited because I knew I'll find a cool place for you. And she is a fantastic singer-songwriter in her own right these days. She's been, last I heard, she was living in Germany. Now she's moving back to the States. Ladies and gentlemen, Ellen Atwood, everyone. Yay! Thanks for being here.
Welcome aboard.
Hi. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, no, you were always so good. So you've been writing songs since you were a teenager. Is that true?
Yeah, not really, actually.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were doing
not
cover-
really.
You were doing cover songs.
I was doing only covers at open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all, but you
Yeah.
did great covers.
That's the way it
Thanks.
starts.
I remember she did your song.
Yes.
Yeah, by
Ah.
Elton John.
Yeah.
You were always a fan of the Elton John.
I'm like
That sounds
Billy Joel and Elton John. I'm sticking with the classics.
The piano guys.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
piano men, if
Yes.
you will.
Makes sense, yeah.
So who are the people you like to play?
Oh, back in the day or nowadays?
Either.
Back in the day, I was really into Coldplay. I liked Billy Joel and Elton John as
Yeah.
well, all those piano stars. The Beatles.
Yeah.
Played a lot of Sarah Bareilles and Ingrid Michaelson, the big songwriters of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was always fun too to collaborate at open mic, play with other people, and sing duets, and
Yep.
throw my brother on stage.
Ooh.
or
Oh, that's
other people.
right.
Yeah.
Did you
That's-
did you play music with him, or did you just throw him on stage as a thirst of your
Just throw
power?
him. Just
Like it's the wrestling portion.
What night of the
Little
week
bit
was
both.
the open mic at
Thursday.
that point?
Thursdays.
Thursday.
Ron is talking about bringing it back on
Yeah.
Sunday night.
Sundays was when
Ooh.
he originally had it going. Yeah.
So when did it end officially? Or,
I have no idea.
After the
Well,
during
I-
the collective years.
Yeah, I stopped doing it. Somebody else took over for a while. I came back for a teeny period, and then, it's really hard to keep an open mic going, like to make it,
Yeah, it's
consistently.
like an
good.
organism that needs to be.
Yeah, well,
developed.
Community.
and that was one of the things about when your particular group. It was like because there was a couple. It wasn't just you. There was some other kids from TA. There was some kids from Harrisonburg. They started converging, and then they would bring friends. That's what you need, an audience.
Yeah.
You have to have. You can't just have musicians.
Yeah.
You have to have people, and the people have to have some talent.
So, Ellen, now you sell insurance in Franklin, West Virginia, and have 5 kids. Is that what they were telling me?
Not at all.
Wow, there you go. No, not at all.
That was my segue into it.
Sometimes Jay forgets what podcast he's on, and then he starts spreading false news.
That's dangerous in this day and age.
Right.
You
He
gotta
forgets
stay away
that.
from
No, so tell us what you have a career now, right? A musical career.
if you can call it that, yeah.
Well,
I have
sure,
a
let's
musical
call it that.
venture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been the last 6.5 years I've been living in Germany, and not for any musical reason necessarily did I move there, but the pandemic hit when I was living there about 1.5 years. And during that downtime, I had like 4 months where I didn't have a job, but I was still getting funds from the grant that I had to be there. And I just had nothing to do but play music. And
Amazing.
so I picked up songwriting and really just ran with it and fell in love with the process. And as a musician, wanted to get my stuff out there. And so I started, going down the path of, well, how does it all work? How do you make an album? How do you get gigs, all of the nitty gritty stuff. And I built a little, I guess you could say, career over there for the last about 4 years, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you make really wonderful Instagram posts of you trying to learn songs, and like you do these little video montages of you in the process,
Yeah.
in the songwriting process, and they're great.
Thanks.
I really appreciate that, because it is a frustrating thing to try to get all the different takes and whatnot. Yeah, it's very cool.
Thank
Not
you.
for Jay. When he writes the songs, just rainbows shooting out of his mind.
Oh yeah, brother.
No, we've talked before about the process of writing. Do you is it like this strained experience for you? Is it something that comes rather easily? How do you
my God.
how do you work through it?
It's definitely a mixed
This
bag.
conversation has a trend. That's all. I'm just saying. Conversation has a trend,
Oh yeah.
and I'm sorry.
Do you mean like straining? Why?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
strange.
My
Yeah.
brain
That
is
was- yeah.
gone to middle school. Please continue.
No, it's always a mixed bag. First, I
Yeah.
have to feel something very deeply about a certain thing. Like there has to be some sort of impulse or inspiration that brings me to the piano or to my guitar or whatever. And then I usually start with a chord progression or some sort of groove, some sort of vibe, and then maybe a text will appear, some sort of lyric I can meditate on, and then it sort of morphs into a melody, hopefully. But it's really like, you sit down 20 times and maybe twice you get a good something out of it. It's really like a practice that you just have to kind of grind through in order to get the gold, I guess. And
That's very cool.
yeah, you have to be dedicated to it, and it's hard to stick with it sometimes because you want that reward of making a whole song, but it's not always that way,
Right.
Yeah.
There was this anecdote about either Glenn Fry or the other ego guy. When he first got to L.A. way back in the day, he was living underneath Jackson Browne, and he said that's how he learned how to write music. Because Jackson Browne would get up first thing in the morning and just keep playing this Dr. Miles, just like over and over and over again, trying to work out all day long. And he said that's how he learned how hard it really is.
Sure, and you don't see that side of the process when you hear the final product from artists,
right.
But
Especially if
guys-
you listen to them perform.
Yeah.
You're just experiencing this like beautiful moment, like, oh wow, it's amazing. And then you don't see the hours. The strain.
The strain.
The work and the strain and the heaving.
I'm going to interject here for some of our regular listeners, and I know people don't like to be identified by their parents, but you are the daughter of Robin and Harry Atwood.
That's correct. Shout out to mom and dad.
Hey!
who many of I know
Avid listeners of the show.
Avid
Right?
listeners. I don't know if they are, but like Dave Scott was our top ranking.
That's right,
guest,
that's
so,
right.
So there might be some people who. Okay, carry on. Sorry, I wanted to get that in there.
Sierra recommends the Dave Scott episode to your parents.
All right.
After they listen to this episode.
That's right.
Yeah.
The only one they've listened to because their daughter's on it.
Have you ever been writing a song and then you go, oh wait, that song's already written?
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the worst.
I kind of just was doing that.
Oh,
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
like earlier today, I had like an hour and I had the guitar out and I was like, oh
man, this
I
is
like
good.
this. I like this. I was like, this
Yeah.
is definitely a song.
Oh,
And I'm like,
and it's
it
usually
might-
a Beatles song.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
What was
that's
it?
a bummer.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just sure it is.
Yeah, right.
We'll find out.
But I mean, at
To
the
be
end of the
continued.
day, it all comes from something, right?
Yeah.
Nothing is purely original. We're all kind of
Yeah, that's true.
nebulously floating around
Yeah.
in the art.
What was? Do you remember any of the songs that you accidentally thought you were, or you just had that feeling?
Well, any of those songs I wouldn't have released or gone further with,
Right.
you know. But yeah, it is a bummer because you're kind of riding a wave and you're like, wow, it's a
Totally.
great hook. And then,
Feel so
dang
proud.
it, that's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, Katy Perry or something really disappointing.
Oh.
That happened to me with Silver Spring, Fleetwood Mac. I had a radio radio alarm clock that would click on, and you could program it to be either go or no, a worse sound than that. That sounded wrong. It sounded like a squirrel testing bed springs.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but the bad alarm or music. So I chose that.
Yeah.
And Fleetwood Mac would come on late or right when my brain was waking up.
Oh.
And it would be Silver Spring. And so I just heard it subconsciously a few times and I was like, yeah, I got a good thing going. I don't know where it's coming from, but man, it's good.
And it's coming from your alarm clock.
Yeah, and then I
Oh.
heard it
Ew.
at Food Lion.
Yeah.
And I was like,
They covered my song.
oh my God. How did they know?
Nathan Moore had described something that I actually did as well, which is you try to copy when you wind up doing that when you're a songwriter. You copy somebody else's song that you admire, and then eventually you're not duplicating.
You make it your own.
You say I'm going to make it sound like this song by so and so,
Right.
and then it comes out like something different because you can't do it exactly right.
Sure, yeah. I
Um,
mean, there's something to be said for that too.
I thought that was some stupid thing I had done, but then Nathan Moore described the exact same thing when he was on the podcast. But I was talking about very early in his career.
So you have multiple collaborators in Germany. How did you meet up with these folks?
Yeah, the origin of all of my connections musically in Germany started when I joined a Kammerchor, a chamber choir in Germany. And it was just a group of 30 musicians. And I made good friends with somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. And kind of the first connections stemmed from there. And then I met my most recent producer who I'm really, really close with and really miss him right now. I met him through a gig that I played. The sound technician knew him and she hooked me up with him. And then, it's all through the little network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we talked at all about what led you to Germany?
Yeah.
How did we get there?
Yeah. How did you
Great
get to
question.
Germany? Yeah.
I guess it's sort of a series of events, but I always had sort of a longing towards Europe. I was born in England, and we went and visited England a lot as a kid, and I always kind of had this dichotomy in my head of America is the place where I have to go to school and I have to do things, and Europe is the place where I go on vacation and I get to drink interesting sodas that don't exist in America. So I had this kind of I don't know, proclivity towards Europe life. And then when I got to college, I was studying opera and really digged the German language. I fell in love with the sound and the sort of grittiness, and I was like, this is a cool language, I'm going to learn it. And so I took a couple classes, and when it came time to graduate, I just wanted to live abroad. I kind of combined the two things and decided to move. I moved about a month after graduating and then just stayed.
Where did you move to in Germany?
I started in Hamburg. I was an au pair, a nanny for 6 months.
That's where the Beatles were.
Yes, that's where they had their first gig. That's right. Yeah. And then I moved to Bremen, which is about an hour west of Hamburg, and spent the rest of my 6 years there.
Is that where the folk tale is from, where the animals on top of each other?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bremertown musicians. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so our friend of the podcast listens every week, Grayson.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Grace.
Hi, Grayson.
Grayson. He lived in Germany for years,
Oh.
and he wanted me to ask you specifically what town you were living in. So what's the name of that town again?
It's called Bremen. You could say Bremen, I guess.
Okay.
Americanized.
You would in America.
Uh-huh. Now, did you get good at speaking German?
I sure did, yeah.
I mean, listen to her say Bremen.
I know.
Yeah,
I
did you
know.
hear how she said Bremen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that I'm fluent in German.
Oh, that's fantastic.
No,
That's
they spot you as an American by your accent?
Sometimes, yeah, they would. Some
Yeah.
people would, but it would be hard to place. A lot of people thought I was from the Netherlands
Wow.
because they have like hard R's in their language as well, and it's just kind of rare to meet an American in Bremen. It's sort of a smaller city, and most folks go to Hamburg or Munich or. Berlin.
You mentioned graduating. Where did you go to school?
I went to JMU.
You went to JMU.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And this is an off-the-topic question, but you mentioned being born in Great Britain. Did that have anything to do with the semester in London?
It did, yeah. My parents were the house parents of the Study Abroad House.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, for 10 years. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With Ralph Cohen was
Ralph
involved.
Cohen, yeah.
All right, so you land over in Germany. You are. That's so interesting. It seems so crazy that to be like, all right, I'm going to start playing music. COVID happens,
Yeah.
so everything shuts down. Did you know people pre-COVID that were doing music?
Really, just the choir kids.
Just the choir
Yeah, that
kids,
was my
yeah.
starting point. And again, I didn't really songwrite until COVID happened, so I
Right.
wasn't necessarily looking to make a career in music. I was just
Right.
trying to hang out in Germany, you know.
No, I saw some. This is like not internet stalking, but I saw when you had your first. Oh, I've got my first gig in Germany.
Yeah.
I think you posted about having your first gig in Germany, and it looked like a pretty big space.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like a small place. How did you get these? How have you gotten gigs in Germany? Like, is it the same way you would get a gig in America? Just you roll up to a bar or to a venue and say, "Hey, I play music."
Yeah,
Or-
I mean, it kind of depends. It's different ways. A lot through the network that you have.
Yeah.
The first,
Your producer, he's helping you out. He's like saying,
Yeah.
I know some people.
sure, yeah. Through my producer, at one point they had just started a big festival every summer in Bremen called Open Space, and they were doing like an open call for songwriters, and that was one of my first gigs ever. And I just got lucky that I was at the start of it, so I could just apply, and
Right.
they weren't really super picky about who they chose, and that was a big springboard because I then had an audience who
Right,
then I
right.
connected with, and it's all just a network. And
Yeah.
Are
and
your
then
songs in English or German?
They're in English.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then they appreciate that in Germany. People obviously listen to English language songs all over the world.
Yeah, that's a huge point actually. I found that it was about 80-20% people would understand my texts. The young people would understand them, but a lot of the times I would get some blank stares, from German audiences. Also from their nature, for one, and secondly, just because they're not necessarily tuned into the English language, and that's a major reason why I chose to move back as well, was because I felt like my music would be better received with an English-speaking audience.
So have you moved back, or you're in the process of moving back, or?
Yeah, I'm in the process of moving back. I've
Okay.
officially left Germany. I'm here. But I am moving this weekend to upstate New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, whereabouts?
I'm moving to Troy, which is like a tiny city outside of Albany.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So that's...
Why'd you pick
Next
that?
up.
Why'd you pick there?
I picked Troy because...
Her Mennonite heritage.
Or maybe later.
No.
I didn't. You're the one that brought it up, not me.
Can Can we help you pack when you go to Troy? Can we put everything in a very large wooden horse that you pull into the gates of town?
Well,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Albany, that's where the old Crow Medicine Show got started, I think, in the old time scene in Albany.
Oh, really?
At one point, they were in upstate New York, right?
Mhm.
Somebody help
Yeah.
back me up here.
Yep. No, you're correct.
That is.
But they're Harrisonburg natives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
they were all over, and at one point they were in upstate New York.
They owe their success to a large wooden horse that they pulled into Albany.
Yeah, I am Helena. I am Ellen.
Ah.
So I'm a little bit.
Stars are aligning.
So what are your plans for up there? Like how are you going to proceed with your music career from Troy, New York?
Yeah. So the reason I chose to move to Troy is because I did a songwriting retreat last summer, and it was just outside of Troy on Lake George in upstate New York. And there were 9 other songwriters there, and they were all kind of from that area, from the Albany upstate area. And it was a really profound experience for me because it was the first time I was sort of diving into the American songwriter scene again.
Right.
After being in Germany, and I really vibed with these people, and I really was able to collaborate, and I felt really in flow. And I thought, you know what, if I'm going to move back, if I already have the impulse to move back, I'm going to move to Troy because all these folks are here. So
Yeah, you get.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be where it's happening.
That's right.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, that is. Well, I also think you can make wherever you are happening, but it takes extra work.
The way things are now, you can be happening anywhere, and you can be in touch with people all over the world instantly, and your community can be. You could still be doing things with people in Germany remotely.
Yeah, and that's also something I intend to do as well. You know,
You could still be working with that same producer for that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the beauty of the modern age.
Is there anything you'd like to say to people in Germany through our show?
We have a lot of listeners in
a lot of Latvian.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's just my excuse to hear you talk in German.
Oh, and
Can you talk German to us, please? We're starved for it. We don't get much of it around here.
Never. Actually, how would you say bingo is life in Germany? In Germany. German?
In German?
It's all one word for starters.
I would say das Leben ist Bingo.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
That would be great though if that was all one word and it just described the joie de vivre of Bingo's life. It's very
Now,
Bingo's life.
how do you say butterfly?
Schmetterling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Schmetterling. Yeah. Schmetterling.
Yeah, German gets such a bad rap because there's that video.
Yeah.
You know?
That video. Yeah.
What's the video? I don't know the video.
Where they're like
That
here-
one
here's-
video that
Yeah.
gives Germany a bad rap.
I thought it was World War II.
It's the words. It's the language. They're saying like butterfly was one of the words in that video, and they say the word butterfly in English and in Spanish and then in German, and it's
And it's always very aggressive.
in German it's Schmetterling.
Who's that stand-up comedian in town that from Charlottesville that's German? He has it's a joke about the German language, how they're kind of snobbish. They'll make up words even though they have the actual words. They'll have to make up a new word in German for things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well,
that kid.
They puzzle words together so well. It's the best. You know, you can, if you're like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like,
The joke he had revolved around the word hovercraft. Now I don't know like that. I don't know, which I shouldn't have brought up. Do you know the word for
I
hovercraft?
don't actually. That's a bad one. No.
But then they actually had German words, and they had to come up with an anyway.
Yeah.
If he was here, he could tell it, and we'd all be laughing,
Yeah.
as opposed to now dead air on the podcast.
That's all right.
It's okay. We can edit that out.
But there's a lot of words in German that don't have American equivalents.
That's true. Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really cool because they like
Oh, what's a word in German that does not have an American-
Zeitgeist,
Oh, really?
or what's the word? I can't pronounce it. Schadenfreude.
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 Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's true. Yeah.
Freude.
Yeah, and there's just little tiny nuances about the communication style that I'm gonna miss a lot. Like when you walk into a room, instead of greeting everybody, you can just say "na," and it like just means like "Hi, I'm here. I acknowledge your presence." You know,
Nah.
and
Nah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
nah.
Nah.
Kind of like
Nah. Oh,
Nah.
okay.
All right.
it's really great. Yeah.
What culturally are the Germans on time? Are they do they put a lot of emphasis on that, or is that just
Well,
Precision.
I would say that's also kind of a stereotype that isn't totally true.
that's why?
Yeah,
I'm asking.
Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was asking.
Yeah. I mean,
you
they
don't know
care.
if you don't
He's
ask.
building bridges over here. Is what he's doing.
They care a lot if you're on time, and they're very religious about their appointments and their punctuality, but they don't always follow through. The best example of that is the Deutsche Bahn. The train system is always late. They've really, they've really fallen off the rails. Yeah.
What
Good
other,
night, everybody. Thank you so much. That was
I'd like to go out on high note. Hey.
What other differences are things or is there between the German culture and ours?
Gosh, it's so much. They're very direct, so there's no reading between the lines really with communication, which I learned to appreciate. At first, it was quite difficult to get used to that, you know.
Right.
But the directness, they really value their time off and fresh air. Like they have these amazing windows in every building that you can like turn the knob of the window and tip it forward and get fresh air, which is also something I'm going to miss. And yeah, they really,
You'll probably find some fresh air in New York.
hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a window that opens. Maybe.
Yeah, but
Please,
it's
Albany, have some windows.
Have
that
a
open.
window.
like have a window, yeah.
Okay.
Be
so-
direct with people. And,
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
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 It's so scary. I am so you did this by yourself, correct?
Yeah, I did.
And the only German you really knew was from, well, you said you took a class in JMU.
Yeah.
You were an opera singer in JMU.
I studied opera for 1 year at Ithaca College.
Oh, at Ithaca.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I transferred to JMU and studied piano. Yeah.
Oh, you're a fantastic piano player. She's a fantastic piano player. Y'all should listen to her. Now, what's
You?
funny is
No, I haven't yet.
Oh,
no, you.
Oh,
I'm
I thought
telling
you-
them.
Oh,
I'm
no,
telling
I'm like,
them
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You are fantastic.
Oh,
So one of the things that I was really surprised is how much you play guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
No, I think you do a
I
great
thought
job
it
with that.
sounded good,
Too. Yeah, I
yeah.
thought it sounded really good.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So when did that happen? When you were like, okay, even though I've
I
mastered
guess.
the piano, let me get that guitar out.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of, stemmed out of a desire for a different medium. You know, I felt a bit exhausted by the piano songwriting wise and picked up the guitar, and I didn't know how to play, and I was really frustrated with how painful it is to start, you know? Because it hurts, you know, it hurts your fingers. And I found this tuning through The Tallest Man on Earth. Do you guys know that artist?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah, he's a great folk artist as well. But he talked about this tuning online. It's like D-A-D-A-D-E. So really just open, the openest D you can imagine with like a small suspension at the end. And with that tuning, you can just use one finger on the lowest string and then get all the different chords you want because everything kind of sounds
Gonna
nice.
write this down.
Yeah.
I know. That's really good.
Now, but the piano knowledge, and I assume that must include classical training, must help with songwriting and coming up with chords and harmonies and things, right?
Yeah, I think, having the toolkit there is definitely helpful. Yeah, but honestly, I'd say more than anything was the open mic experience that helped me
Really?
with that kind of thing. Yeah, learning covers, really, because
Okay.
I write pop music, so it's a lot of 4-chord songs and not really the chords you encounter so much in classical. But it was learning covers that sort of facilitated that, I guess. Yeah.
That's
Now,
awesome.
when you learned the Elton John songs, were you learning it note for note from the record, or were you coming up with your own arrangements back then?
Elton John, a lot by ear. Yeah, a lot of playing by ear. Elton John's a bit more difficult, though, to piece out because it's very intricate. You
Right.
know, it's not just chords. But yeah, I had some really good piano teachers when I was in middle school who sort of like fostered my ear and encouraged me to read lead sheets and come up with my own chords for things. And I think that kind of pushed me along in the ear training realm.
Did you ever play jazz, improv?
A little bit, yeah. In middle school, I was in stage band at Wilbur Penn's. Did you go to Wilbur Penn's? Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I did a bit of improv there and learned the blues scale and things, but I didn't dive too deep into jazz.
Right.
No.
I'm going to go way off the rails here. Your father is a tremendous athlete.
Yes.
Did you inherit any of that?
I'd like to think so, a little bit. I was actually just playing pickleball with him today.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going with that. Are you a good pickleball player?
I think I have the seeds, but I don't have
The pickle
Need to plant
seed.
that
Pickle seed.
cucumber, get it right, put it in some brine.
That's right.
Got a whole process, but you'll get there.
I'm not pickled enough yet.
Did you play sports at TA?
I swam.
You swam.
And I did marching band, which I would argue is a sport.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
marching band is that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oliver's in marching band. It's shocking how much you have to do.
He
Yeah.
carries
All
the
these
whole drum kit,
competitions.
doesn't
There's the competitions are every week. Then they have to practice.
Yeah.
All
it's,
summer long they get together. They do band camps. And
Now,
stuff.
what's shocking to me is they play this really avant-garde music at those contests. It's not like
Yeah.
It's not
Oh
like
yeah. No.
John Philip Sousa like back in the day.
No. It's really good. The marching bands today are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And Harrisonburg has they combine Rocktown and the Blue Streaks. So it's a combined, and it's
The powers unite.
It's enormous.
Well, what did you play in marching band?
I played saxophone.
Wow,
Yeah.
so you play saxophone, guitar,
Guitar.
and piano.
The guitar. I don't really think that I play the guitar. I don't like to say that I play guitar.
Oh,
I-
whatever.
Yeah. See,
I don't
That's
know.
not true. I just watched a video.
I know. Yeah. I was gonna say it.
I just watched you play guitar.
It was all a lie.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't know.
Do you have your own studio? Do you do work like electronic things like triggering other instruments with the keyboard?
Yeah.
Because that's the tremendous advantage for being a well-trained pianist.
True. Yeah. There's a lot you can access with a MIDI keyboard nowadays.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love to noodle around in Logic and do, all the different.
Do you know? Are you
plugins and-
good at? Do you have it mastered? Because that's an
No.
amazing program for $200.
Oh gosh, no, I don't have it mastered by any means, but it's fun to noodle around. It's a great tool for arranging and like trying different instruments out.
I want to write a song with you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think we should do it.
I think so. too.
Anytime.
No. Now that the internet exists,
Yeah.
we can
Same.
make this happen.
It's
I'm
true.
just gonna put it in the universe now. Since
Okay.
you're right here.
Manifest.
I'm gonna see if I can make it manifest within the next year.
I would love that.
I think it'd be fun.
Have
I
you
think-
been,
yeah.
been involved in anything like that? Any of those groups? I mean, there's all kinds of groups doing that.
I know there
Yeah.
are. That's
But
why but I've never done it. That's why I'm like, well, you're gonna be in a place where you're with people doing it. Maybe we could just figure it out.
Yeah.
You send
You got
tracks
this.
back and forth and that
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I had a couple of Zoom songwriting sessions recently.
What?
Do you guys know Buffalo Rose? The band, they played at Clem's
Yeah.
not
Yes.
so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shane McLaughlin, he also went to TA. He and I had a Zoom songwriting session not too long ago.
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
He plays in Buffalo Rose. They're based in Pittsburgh, but
So
also
you
could
actually,
be an interesting guest.
you were
Wait,
you were actually
did,
you were
did
working.
did you do the open mic? No.
He might have. It's a good chance. Luke
Mm.
definitely did. I think his little brother.
That's who I'm
Yeah.
thinking of.
So
Luke.
you were in
Yeah.
Zoom in real time, going back and forth, like saying, here's A
Yeah.
A G E or whatever, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he would pitch in. Could you play together, or was it too much lag time?
Not really together, but it's a great tool for writing texts or
Right,
writing
yeah.
chord progressions, and then you can send a nice clean memo afterwards
Yeah.
of what you've made.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's right.
Okay, so
You guys have
before
summer. Like it's going to be summer, which is going to be perfect for your songwriting. Like it's going to happen because anything can happen in the summer in Harrisonburg, and
It's true.
anything.
And Troy.
yeah, and if
Troy.
you're digitally connected to Harrisonburg, that can happen too. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Since we're probably getting close to
Yeah,
wrapping
we're
it up
getting
time.
close. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, who are you listening to
Hmm.
right now that we should listen to?
Oh my gosh.
Give us top 3.
This year, there's been so many great releases out this year. I'm having a great time with the music out right now. I'm really into Lucy Dacus.
Lucy
She's one
Dacus,
of the
yes.
boy genius women. She writes the most prolific, relatable, simple but
Mhm.
profound lyrics. I'm just blown away by her artistry. And then Katie Gavin, I also think is a great artist. She's from Muna. She put out an album recently that's really, really beautiful. And gosh, Gordy, that's going to be my last pitch. Gordy, she is a medical doctor and a singer-songwriter.
Of course.
And she's releasing an album this August, and I love her stuff too. It's very pop, very indie.
You know, and I'm just going to say, people who say that the music isn't as good as it used to be are totally wrong. There is so much good music out there. I mean, it's compared to what was available, say, 30 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
What you have now, it's impossible to even keep up with all the great music that's coming out.
The problem is time. We don't have time to listen.
Time, Bazooka Joe.
Well, it's time, and it's also like filtering through the mass of music. You know, there's so much out there.
It's a lot.
I was talking to a guy from Nashville, and he works for a company. They help artists release music. Just one small company in Nashville, 400,000 songs a month.
What?
That they're releasing.
What? 400,000 songs a month?
A month from this one company, you know, that he's helping release on Spotify. Those are artists who are paying somebody to help, you know, promote their music. So it is filtering through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's really accessible nowadays, which is a good thing. It's good that it's accessible to release your music, but it does create a mass.
Well, I tell you, thank you so much for being on here.
Absolutely.
If you ever come back to Harrisonburg, let me know, and we'll get you a gig next time.
Perfect. I would love
That's
that.
what we need to do. Let me know, and I can make it happen for sure. Thank you again. This is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's that.
Can I do 2 quick plugs?
Quick, yeah.
Just real fast. Hey guys, Friday night, First Friday Improv. Come this month. That'd be great. And it's a $5.
It is funny. It's very funny.
We have fun.
John Huffman is a genius.
John Huffman's the best one, and he'll be there that night.
Nice.
And we're taking July off, so you know you won't see us for a while. So you know that if you do this, then you won't have to go in July. You know, so you got your credit. Punch card situation. I should probably do. Anyway,
You get a free sub.
The free sub. The other thing is tomorrow night we're showing Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version. It's the 20th anniversary and of this movie that nobody cares about, but they do care about it because just
You were the last man on earth that could be prevailed upon to marry.
Yeah, no. The Lady Jane is co-sponsoring and doing trivia and prizes, and Bittersweet Bakery is bringing sweet little biscuits, and I'm bringing tea. So it starts at 6:30 tomorrow night.
So 6:30 tomorrow night, Court Square Theater. It's a party. Pride and Prejudice.
You know,
Get your tea.
Regency
Get your
period.
biscuits.
Hit your waist line up a bunch, like right under your boobs, and you'll be good to go.
And the sad little chumming from the clock in the hall says it's time to end the podcast.
It's that time.
Andre Vasconcelos banging away down in Rio de Janeiro.
There he is.
Thanks again to Ruby's Arcade, our sponsor in downtown Harrisonburg.
Thanks, Rubies.
Come down here and get some pizza. They have some great pizza here. And at 7:30 every Tuesday night for Bingo is Life, live and in person. It's a great entertainment event for the entire family. And you can listen to the podcast anytime you want to on the internet. Thanks again, Ellen Atwood.
Thanks for having me, you guys.
We'll see you again next week, kids.
Bye-bye.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers How to Show and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.